First of all, what was that thing, the idea you had the other day, Brian? That you were like, I want to say it, but I'll save it.
Oh, I was gonna expand the shit. I mean, it was a DOT thing, but I had another idea. Do you remember what I said along the lines?
You said it was DOT based, and it like mostly revolved around Kafka, right?
Oh yeah. My idea with the DOT team would be Kafka would be probably the starting, apply the DOT onto the field, and then you have like other characters like I pulled up multiple characters of like the fire, and I think there's like a Silverwolf does do DLT, but it's not turn, like it's still continuous. There's like other characters like I think Hook or Himiko that do DLT. So it would be like um she would start off and then you have the other character like for example, they're like fire type. They apply the DLT onto the enemy, and then as soon as Kafka gets on back onto the field, she does her skill and it applies it, and then it also triggers the fire DLT as well as her electric DLT. So it does just like a bunch of AoE damage, constant damage onto the field and stuff.
And Kafka can share. You said she can share the DOT, so she doesn't have to be the one attacking, right? Like other characters can attack and still apply the same. Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of her other ability, the shock ability. Never mind.
Her shock ability is like when an ally hits a shocked enemy, she'll attack as a like an extra attack.
Yes. Yeah. That's yeah. Okay.
And I remember it was her. She obviously has DLT on her kit, and then it's actually Jayen Yoon, the guy with the lightning lord. He actually applies DLT for like I don't know, like a turn or 2 turns around there. And Hook also does so, I believe, as well.
Excuse me. So your team basically is just constant DOT damage, area of effect, I assume.
Yeah.
AoE.
It'd probably be a strong option.
What are the
starting off?
What are the main line? You said Kafka, Silverwolf, Jin Yoon, and who else?
It would be Kafka, probably Jin Yoon, or even like if what's true, a free to play option could be a Serval. She does also put Electro DLT, and if it's different, you can have like this character's DLT damage onto the enemy, and then the other character DLT damage, and they're not like combined into one.
Yeah.
Then you just 2 instances of Electro DLT. So
thoughts, Jalen?
Yeah, sounds mid.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, mid. Is there wait, did you want to continue, Brian? You say something?
Yeah, I thought about it. It'd probably most likely be just 2 characters that do apply the DLT damage, and then you probably want to like have one character like Civil Wolf's utility like level of character onto the team, and then you would obviously want a healer to complement the team well. So I think like Kafka, Serval, free to play option, and then you have like Silverwolf, and then like maybe Bronya or like another or like a healer. But if you want to play risky, you don't have to keep a healer. You just have to Bronya to constantly push your allies to keep attacking as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Solid early game option.
I came up with a team that kind of just revolves around, what is it? Speed and taking action. If I were building a team to try out and see if it's meta or not, would be Bronya, because she can boost other people's speed. Su Shang, because she can boost her own speed and action. Clara, to take all the damage, focusing on her only. And then another DPS, maybe Seal, because she can also boost her own speed. And then Blade, because he can also boost his speed as well. Either one of those characters, Seal or Blade, can take that spot. But mine is basically just like I'm going first, you're not going to get your turn kind of thing. And they all do like a lot of DPS. So the whole
Yeah.
thing is my tank tanks, taunts everyone, and then I get to go first and do all the damage.
Yeah, sounds like especially in a game where like this is probably going to be like every other turn-based game is probably just going to be speed dominated. So having like someone like Bronya for sure, and like I would probably bring Blade into like that. He's a locked-in option because he kind of just takes priority regardless, and increasing your own speed is very good. Like, but the ability to just go first regardless of the speed difference of any of your enemies or allies, I think it's too impactful.
And also, yeah. Also, Seal, her passive says apply buff on defeating an enemy and gain an extra action. So I'm just like her and Su Shang are just gonna constantly be taking their turn. Like,
Yeah, that
like there's just no stopping that.
apply buff on yeah, that's a very strong ability, and you're definitely gonna want to build her. Obviously, attack oriented. She's a DPS character. I would see the only downside is probably that she's single target, but that shouldn't really be a problem if she's doing high single target damage.
I think the only character that actually does AoE is Blade in this, unless Su Shang does AoE. Does she do AoE? No, she does single
Target.
Yeah, I guess the only downside to this is really just single target damage, unless you want to put Blade in. Either one, Seal or Blade, could go in that that fourth spot, depending on what you want to go for. What would you
I'm
like?
pretty sure Blade is only AoE for 3 turns though.
Is he?
Yeah.
I think the fact that the team is mostly single target could probably be, it could still be good, since like if you're basing the team around high speed and like people taking priority over the enemy, then it doesn't really matter because you're bursting down enemies. And if you have Seal on the team, if you kill the enemy with her, then she's just gonna get an extra turn, and it kind of acts like a pseudo AoE. So
True.
it could be offset.
Yeah.
It could be offset.
Would you change anything, Jalen, Brian? Did you switch characters out for different characters?
I would say, depending on how the game is, I haven't seen very much gameplay of it, but if there's a high importance of a healer, I think the free-to-play healer Natasha is probably going to be a staple unless you get the 5-star healer. He'd be probably a staple in like every team.
That's true. I don't even have a healer on my team.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's why with like my DLT team, I was like probably just 2 characters that apply it, and then you have like a support or utility character, either Silverwolf, Bronya, or like maybe Asta, or even like a tank, and then you have like a healer. I think that's probably like something people are gonna want to do early game, especially.
So you'd switch out a DPS with a healer, or
ideally it would probably be 2 DPS, or at least 2 people that could apply the DOT, and then it would be a support / utility character, and then it'll be the healer.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you, Jalen?
Probably early game. If I get Clara, I'll probably do March 7th, Clara, Welts, and Silverwolf. Early. You don't really need healing early game. Later game, obviously use the healer. Probably take out Clara on March 7th. Probably do a free-to-play healer. If I get Blade, use Blade. Silverwolf, and then probably Bronya if I get her. That's a good team. That's a solid team later game. Because honestly, Clara's quite broken. I can hold you.
You should probably add Don Heng in there, because he's going to be good early, especially early game. He's not going to be hard to get. I think he's a 4-star. What was your final like result team? Like what would you say it was? It was March 7th, Bronya,
Blade, and then
Blade.
Flare, right?
You're going for early game though, right? You
Yeah,
think
early game. You don't really need a healer early game.
you think you're gonna be able to get a 5-star character so early?
Yeah, 100%. Because if they keep it, you get a guaranteed 5-star in the beginner banner after you summon like I forgot X amount of times on that banner. You get a guaranteed 5-star in the end.
That's the first one.
Yeah, the first banner, beginner banner. So if I get any of these characters, depending on who I get, that's my build. If I get Clara, I'm solid. If I get Bronya, I'm definitely. Oh man, hey, you don't have Bronya? Well, get her. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
That's true. Hold on. Yeah, like we're talking about specific teams that we would probably like to run, or like probably be fun, or like easy carries in early game. I think that could be another video. Like just talking about like if you get, because it's a gotcha game. It's based off luck. We could just make teams for each like 5-star character, because each 5-star character has their own strengths and they're very good in their own right. So it'd
I
probably be a
agree.
good
Like
idea
for
to
example, Welt's the best 5-star in the game.
anyway.
Okay, buddy.
Anyway, it would be like if people don't get like the certain characters they want, it'd probably be best to just talk about like, oh, if you didn't get Blade, if you got like someone like Kafka, oh, this will be a good team build for, or like you get like someone like oh, this team of just like full debuff and utility would be very good, like stuff like that. I think that really matters.
Let me look up actual banners. The banner. Okay. Sorry.
Is there any ideas of who, if the game has like a limited banner and then like a standard banner, like which characters are going to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
standard?
So there's a standard banner where you can just get the general 5 stars, and then there is a limited banner like for a very specific character that has a increased chance of. I think that's how it works.
Is there any information of like who's going to be the limited 5-star, maybe day one of the game, if they follow like some similar format to Genshin?
Yeah, it's anyone's guess, I think.
That's a standard and that's a beginner.
Oh, a featured banner, then have like 3-4 stars to complement the featured unit.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically a similar format to Genshin. It's pretty cool. Beginner banner is kind of stacked, really stacked.
All those are good.
Yeah.
You can do anything with those early game.
Even though personally, I think it's kind of in the lower tier compared to these other characters. I feel like
anyways,
he's still really good early
valid.
game. He's still really good early game for like someone like Claire, Bronya.
You play Genshin.
Anyway, Japard. I think these are just completely stacked characters that can easily just boost your accounts level the moment you get them.
5 multis. If you don't get a 5-star within the 4, the last multi is a guaranteed 5-star. That's in the beginner. That's in the beginner banner at least.
I think it's 100% worth it for beginning players, to summon on the warp banner. At least very early game.
Which one?
The beginner warp banner.
Beginner warp. Okay.
Like starting players is a really good idea to summon on this banner.
Yeah.
Especially with the discount. Yeah.
No, yeah, I agree. So the the characters you get for free are the Trailblazer, which is the MC, March 7th, Dawn Heng, Erda, Natasha, and Serval. For informational purposes, what would you build with that team? Like what team would you build with those characters? I mean,
it'll probably be like early game. It'll probably be Erda, for just she does AoE on her skill and bursts, which really matter. It'll probably be Dan Heng, because he has piercing capabilities and he's just solid all around. March 7th for tanking purposes, and just if you don't really need a healer early game, it'll probably be Serval, but that's interchangeable with Natasha, either Serval or Natasha for me.
I got, honestly, because I have heard good things about the MC. That's a fair team, by the way. MC. I got the MC. I got Don Heng because I think depending on which element you go for, because the two starting elements for the MC is physical and fire. Physical is supposed to be like a DPS. Fire is supposed to be like some. Oh, I think it's like a tank or something like that.
A tank.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
Oh right.
I would
right.
go physical for Trailblazer, MC, Dongheng. I would go March 7th, and is Herta another DPS? I can.
Yeah, she does AoE on her skills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she also applies a little buff. Like, if an enemy's above 50% HP, your team will do 20% extra damage to the enemy.
Okay.
So.
You know what? I'll change my answer. I'll switch out Don Heng for Herta because I just want to try out the MC. You could switch out Dong Heng for the MC and you'll probably the exact same result and all that.
Yeah.
I just want to try out the MC because I have not read any information on him. There's like nothing out there. But and then the last one, I do not like Serval, so I guess I do Natasha just to heal, even though you probably won't need it early game.
Yeah, I completely forgot about the Trailblazer for a second. Oh, my apologies. Herta only does for herself. Her skill will do 20% extra damage on her skill activation, not the team. Not it's like a not.
Yeah, well, yeah. Regardless, I still would have.
Yeah,
because I just wanted that AOE.
I'd probably fit the Trailblazer somewhere on the team, maybe over Serval or Herta. I probably will still claim Dan. I'm just calling him Dan. I'd probably still keep Dan on the team. Or I'd probably if the Trailblazer's a tank on his fire form, then I would probably take Trailblazer over March 7th. I think March 7th could probably just work better with another team if you get lucky enough. With like maybe like someone like Blade or definitely Claire. I think should work perfectly with Claire.
Definitely Claire.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, Blade could do. You could do some crazy stuff with Blade too.
Yeah, you could definitely do shenanigans with him. The free options they give you are pretty solid, honestly, for a starting team.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you got any critiques, Jalen? You know.
I mean, he's alright.
No, alright.
Overrated.
Overrated. You know what? That's
I mean,
okay.
none of your teams. You know, I mean, come on. If you're gonna be pulling. You know.
Yeah.
You gotta at least have several wolves. Come on.
Well, okay. Well, and these banners, they look like they give you a guaranteed 4-star, which is very good. And most of the 4-stars are really good. If you want to save for like a limited banner, then the free-to-play options they give you in the start of the game are really good. So, but that's only if you are only saving for like some hypothetical amazing unit in the far, far future, you know?
Yeah, I guess, but March 7th, I think is going to be really, really good early game. I think you should instantly drop her if you don't have Clara and or Blade. If you summon, but other than that, everybody else is a good option.
Yeah, everyone else is definitely good. I would personally say it's a good idea for new players to summon on at least the beginner warp banner for your chance to get like someone as broken as like Branya, Claire, hypothetically maybe if Blade's on the banner, or like Kafka. Like those characters are really gonna like last for a while.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, 100%. All those characters.
Yeah, especially if you pull Welts. Welts is gonna really carry you through.
Yeah, fucking. All right, well, thank you guys for doing the video with me. Appreciate it.
No problem. No problem.